We have the Montgomery County Indians head coach, Jason Mays, student athletes, Caden Reed, Luke Fons, and Andrew Terry. Coach, comments?
I mean, game plan worked for a while. We were going to need something special to happen for it to continue. We did some unique stuff on Malachi. You got to make sure that you change the timing and the angle of how he gets to his spots. Because when he gets to his spots, that triggers how he gets into his scoring positions. And we did a great job of that in the first half. And then just, it wasn't sustainable for the second half. And I knew we were going to run a risk at that, but we couldn't be scared to take a chance. If we played them straight up, we weren't going to have a fighting chance at all. So we had to, and then they did a masterful job of adjusting to what we were doing on ball screen offense. We knew that he was going to sag and drop down there. So we were going to be able to hit some threes, which we did. And then they started switching, and they're just big and strong, and they're old as far as, how long they've been playing, and the seniors, and they're hard to score on, And so once they started switching, we didn't have open shots. We needed them to sag so we could pop, so we could have open shots where we didn't have to deal with the length. And when they started switching, that went away. So really, third quarter we got outscored by 12, and fourth quarter we got outscored by 11. And we just couldn't sustain it.
Question right here on the corner.
Jason, you said something about Andrew growing up yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Today, he was really kind of locked in there on Malachi for the whole game, especially in that first half. It was really working there.
Yeah. We met Malachi high on the floor. Made sure we showed the officials our hands. And, we just blocked, a player, sort of an NBA tactic. The player wants to run to a spot because they have rhythm out of that spot, because that's what they practice. They practice the action from a spot. And if you change the angle of that and change when they get to their spot and how they get to their spot, it throws them off, and it throws the point guard off too. And with LJ being out today, I thought we'd try that. And so Andrew just did a lot of little things well, like meeting him at half court. And I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but it was effective. And then we fronted and helped, and then Caden went and dug on him on the dribble, and that was effective. We had quite a few post-entry turnovers early in the game, and so you led with the question of Andrew growing up. I think he's going to look back on these last two games and like, man, what a blessing that this opportunity was to play against Reese Davidson last night and be the primary defender on him, and then play against Malachi today and be the primary defender on him. I don't think I'm going to have to motivate Andrew to get in the weight room in off season. I think he'll be early in that line. We lift very hard, but he's just a freshman. His body's still developing, but he sees what a physical game this is at the high level, and that's where you want to play. If you want to be one of the top programs in the country, you want to play at a high level. So you physically have to be ready to play at that high level.
On the corner over there.
Coach, one of the things you talked about throughout the season is this team writing its own story and not being defined by others. I know there hasn't been much time to reflect yet, but what do you want people to remember about the story of this team?
They played with confidence, composure, and class. They had the confidence to obtain what no one thought they could, okay? They had composure to weather a lot of adversity, and the adversity didn't derail them, and intensified their desire to succeed. And then class, we had some bad losses early. We had players playing out of position. We didn't play the role of a victim, and if we would have, people would have remembered us for how we reacted to the adversity. But I want them to remember, I think they'll remember them as, they played in the Final Four, and they were 11 and 18 the year before, and we were 500, even sub 500 for a large part of our season this year. So I think as a coach, you have to accept that a win is maximizing your team's potential. And if we didn't maximize it, we came pretty daggone close.
Here.
Kid, I know it's been a roller coaster this season, but to end of the year rough in the Final Four, playing your final game, kind of what does it mean to you?
I guess I don't even know how to answer that right now. It's crazy, really. I mean, I guess if you lose, you want to lose here on the biggest stage. So, yeah, that's all.
This question is for Caden and Coach Mage. You can add to it. I know, Caden, you're looking to play on further in your career, and I've been following you a long time. What do you want, I guess, college coaches to know what they're getting from you as a player whenever you decide what school you want to go to?
A winner, somebody that doesn't give up, plays his hardest every night.
You know, and Will, you do a great job of 10thregion.com. We're fortunate to have that resource. Caden's recruiting has been upside down because of the timeline of his eligibility with the KHSA, and rightfully so. Okay, I mean, we were never a victim to that. We just accepted it and we just waited till we got eligible. But in the last week or so, it's exploded. He's going to have some offers probably in the next 24 hours that I know of. And that's between him and his family to make that public whenever they want to. But, you know, now that's what we got to focus with him. You know, we'll do exit meetings with our players, and I'll spend time with our staff and each player, and we'll find out, you know, where their headspace is and decompress. These guys, this is a long season, guys. I mean, we played basketball for 6 months. It's the longest interscholastic season, I think, in KHSA sanctioned sports. So they need to decompress and let their bodies and minds heal. But during that process, he'll take visits, and I'll help him with that. But his mom and dad won't pay for college, you know, one way or the other. He's going to be blessed to play on scholarship somewhere, and somebody's going to be very fortunate to have a point guard that can aggravate them instead of me.
Final questions? This will be the final question here.
Coach, you lose a couple guys. I know, Caden, what does this experience mean to your core group of guys coming back next year, kind of that hunger to get back?
Well, we didn't have one player that ever participated in a regional tournament, except for Caden. I mean, when was the last time? When did Caden? What was 3 years ago, 2 years ago?
Freshman.
His freshman year was the last time, and so he was the only player that had ever played in a regional tournament game. Nobody else had ever played in a regional tournament game. So here we're talking you guys in the KHSA Final Four. So I think they have finally realized what winning looks like, tastes like, feels like, and you know, yeah, this is why we play tough teams. This is why I put you in tough situations. This is why we practice hard, lift hard, take care of our bodies, and have high standards, because when you get to this level, the margins are so small that you have to have a tight ship. And I think they believe that, and I bought into that. So I think they'll take away what it takes to get here. Now, I'll end with this. It's much harder to sustain excellence than it is to achieve it once. So the hard part is, how do we do this again? You know, that's hard.
Coach Mace, congratulations to you and the Montgomery County Indians on a great season.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. You just look right here.